My younger brother picked up the gift. My daughter gave him and said, "Cheap, worthless trash." Then, it happened at my brother's 32nd birthday party. My daughter, Ella, stepped forward clutching the small wooden jewelry box she'd carved by hand. She'd worked on it for weeks. Sanded edges, tiny brass hinges, her allowance spent on varnish. "Happy birthday, Uncle Ryan," she said. Smiling, he picked it up, turned it in his hand, and laughed. Cheap, worthless trash. Then he threw it, hard. The box hit her shoulder, splintering against the ground. My parents just smirked from their chairs, pretending it was a joke. I didn't argue. I just said quietly, "You'll regret that." And I meant every word. I'm Gianna West. I'm 39 years old. I'm a single mother to my daughter, Ella. I work from home as a remote software engineer, and I make $118,000 a year. To most people, that sounds good. It sounds stable. And I am stable. That's been my entire job in this family. I am the steady one. I am the problem solver. I am the rock. Before I tell you how everything flipped, like and subscribe, drop a comment, where are you watching from? What I really am is the bank. For nearly 10 years, I have been the one who pays. It started small. It always starts small. I was 22, just out of college with my first real job. My parents' car, an old sedan, broke down. My dad called me, his voice heavy. "The transmission is shot, G. They're saying $2,000. We just don't have it." I had it. I had my first real paycheck. I had my savings. I thought I was helping. I paid for the repair. "You're a lifesaver, Gianna," my mom said. It felt good to be the lifesaver. A few months later, my younger brother, Ryan, needed his wisdom teeth out. He was 23, working part-time at a ski shop, and had no insurance. "Can you help me out, sis?" he asked. "I'll pay you back." I paid the dental bill. It was $3,000. He never paid me back. Then my parents' rent went up. Just a little. "We're just a few hundred short, G. Just this month," my mom said. That was 9 years ago. I am still paying their rent. I am still paying their utilities. I am still paying their phone bill. It's all on auto pay, a quiet drain from my account on the first of every month. They call me our rock. My dad says, "Thank God we have Gianna. She'll always land on her feet." What he means is, she'll always pay the bill. My life is built around their needs. I've lived in the same 2-bedroom apartment for 6 years because moving to a bigger place would be expensive. Ella deserves her own room, a real room, not just a small space with a curtain. But that money goes to my parents' apartment. I drive a 10-year-old Honda. It's reliable. That's all I need. I don't take vacations. Ella has never seen the ocean. But my brother Ryan has seen the world. Or at least he's tried to, on my dime. Ryan is the dreamer. I am the one who pays for the dreams. First, it was the drone startup. He was 26. He was going to be a high-end aerial photographer for real estate. He just needed the initial investment. "It's 10 grand, G," he said, pacing my living room. "For the best drone, the camera, the software. I'll make it back in 6 months. Easy. I'll pay you back with interest." I looked at my savings. It was the money I was saving for a down payment on a house. A house for me and Ella. "Please, Gianna," my mom said on the phone later that day. "He's so excited about this. It could be his big break. You're so good with money. You can help him." So I gave him the $10,000. He bought the drone. He also bought a new TV and a game console. He said it was for the business. He crashed the drone into a flagpole 3 weeks later. He sold the parts for scrap. I never saw a dollar. I was angry. I yelled. I told him he was irresponsible. He just shrugged. "That's business, sis. Sometimes you fail. You're the steady one. You'll be fine." My parents took his side. "Don't be so hard on him, Gianna," my dad said. "He's finding himself." 2 years later, he found himself again. This time, he wanted to open a craft coffee bar in Flagstaff. He loved Flagstaff. He loved the vibe. He didn't ask me for money that time. Not directly. He went to our parents. My mom called me crying. "Ryan is just so lost, Gianna. He has this wonderful idea, this coffee bar. He just needs a little help. We're so worried he's going to fall into a depression if this doesn't work." The implication was clear. If Ryan got depressed, it would be my fault. I invested $20,000 in the craft coffee bar. I had to take out a personal loan to do it. The interest rate was high. The coffee bar lasted 8 months. He said the market was too saturated. He was competing with corporate giants. He sold the espresso machine for half of what I paid for it and moved back home to our parents' apartment. The apartment I was paying for. I was still paying off that personal loan when he came to me with his next idea. For a decade, this has been the pattern. Ryan dreams, I pay. My parents feel, I pay, I am the rock. I am the steady one. I am the remote software engineer who makes $118,000 a year. I am the woman who is slowly being bled dry by the people who say they love me. They love what I do for them. They love my income. They love my stability. I often wonder if they actually love me, or if I'm just a name on a bank account, a resource, a utility. My brother always says, you'll always land on your feet. He's right. I have to, because I'm holding all of them up on my shoulders. And if I fall, we all fall. But I'm so tired. I'm tired of being the rock. A rock doesn't get to have dreams. A rock doesn't get to be tired. A rock just sits there, being worn down, day after day, until there's nothing left but dust. That's what I was becoming. Just dust, the big one. The one that would eventually burn everything down. It happened 3 years ago. Ryan showed up at my apartment. He wasn't frantic like with the drone. He wasn't emotional like with the coffee bar. This time he was professional. He was carrying a sleek black binder. It looked expensive. Hey, G, he said, walking past me into my living room. He sat on my sofa, placing the binder on the coffee table. Ella was in her room doing her homework. I've got it, Gianna, he said. His eyes were bright. This is the one. This isn't a small-time idea. This is a brand. He opened the binder. Inside were pages of badly photoshopped images. Desert landscapes, clay pots. He had pages of text full of words like artisan, curated, sustainable, and Southwest culture. His new plan was artisan pottery. He was going to make high-end pottery and sell it to tourists and online. The market is huge. Gee, people love this stuff. It's authentic. I just looked at him. Ryan, I don't have any more money to give you. I'm still paying for the coffee shop. He laughed. A small, patronizing laugh. No, G, I'm not asking for a handout. I'm not a kid anymore. He was 29. I'm doing this the right way. I'm getting a business loan. My heart, which had been tight in my chest, relaxed. Just a little. Oh, I said. That's great, Ryan. Good for you. Yeah, he said, leaning forward. That's where you come in. I've got the whole plan. The bank loves it. But my credit, it's a little thin from the coffee shop restructure. They just need a cosigner. Just a formality. To show the bank I have a stable partner. There it was. The hook. No, I said. Ryan, I can't. I can't cosign alone. If you miss a payment, it comes to me. My credit gets hit. I'm not going to miss a payment, he said, his voice rising. Did you even look at the plan? I've got profit margins, G. I've got a 5-year projection. You had projections for the drones, I said quietly. His face turned dark. That was different. I was a kid. I'm serious now. I can't, Ryan. He stood up. He started pacing. This is typical. The one time I try to do it right, to build something real, my own sister cuts me off at the knees. Fine. I don't know. He left. He slammed the door. An hour later, my mother called. The timing was perfect. It was always perfect. Gianna, she said, her voice already thick with tears. Ryan just left here. He was crying. I've never seen him so broken. He wasn't crying when he left my apartment. He was angry. Mom, he wants me to co-sign a business loan. A big one, he told us. $60,000, she said. Oh, Gianna, he's trying so hard. He's finally found his passion. You're the only one in this family with good credit. You're the only one who can help him. And if he fails, I'm stuck with a $60,000 loan, I said. That would ruin me, Mom. That's Ella's college fund. That's our future. Then, the line I'd heard my whole life. The one that always worked. After all we did for you, Gianna? When you got pregnant with Ella, we didn't judge you. We supported you. Their support was letting me live in my own apartment, which I paid for, while they told their friends I was going through a phase. Their support was watching Ella once for a weekend, and she came home with a high fever because they didn't know she wasn't supposed to eat a whole bag of candy. The guilt worked. It always worked. I was so tired of fighting. I was so tired of being the bad guy. Fine, I said. I'll look at the paperwork. I met Ryan at the bank the next day. He was all smiles, wearing a new shirt. I sat at a long, polished table with a loan officer named Mr. Henderson. Mr. Henderson looked at me, then at Ryan, then at my financial statements. He mostly looked at mine. "This is a solid business plan, Mr. West," he said, "but the bank's concern is your lack of credit history, and frankly, your income." He turned to me. "Ms. West, your finances are in excellent order. The bank is happy to extend this loan, with you as the primary borrower." I stopped. "I'm sorry, I thought I was co-signing." "He's the primary borrower. It's his business." Mr. Henderson gave me a small, sad smile. "To be blunt, Ms. West, the bank will not approve this loan for your brother. We are approving it for you. You are the primary. He is the co-signer. You are 100% responsible for this debt." Ryan kicked me under the table. "Gee, it's just paperwork," he whispered. Don't make this a thing." I looked at Mr. Henderson. I looked at Ryan. I thought about my mother's crying voice. I thought about Ryan. Broken. "I want to add a condition," I said, my voice shaking a little. "Collateral." "His Jeep." Ryan's face changed. "What?" "He had a 2020 Jeep Cherokee. He loved it. He'd bought it used after the coffee shop failed, probably with the money from the espresso machine. "I want the loan secured against his 2020 Jeep Cherokee," I told Mr. Henderson. "If the loan goes into default, the bank seizes the vehicle." Ryan started to protest. "Gianna, that's my car." "It's just a formality, Ryan," I said, using his own words. "If you're not going to miss a payment, it doesn't matter, right?" He shut up. Mr. Henderson nodded, typing. "That's wise, we can add that. It strengthens the loan." I signed the papers. My hand was steady, but my stomach felt sick. I had just signed my name to a $60,000 debt for my brother's pottery dream. For the first 6 months, it was fine. He actually did it. He opened his studio. The payments arrived on time. His Instagram was full of pictures. Him at the pottery wheel looking intense. Glazed mugs lined up on a shelf. The desert sunset, with his Jeep parked in the foreground. "Pottery life," he'd write. "Boss, blessed." I started to relax. Maybe this was it. Maybe he'd finally grown up. Then, the 7th month, the payment was late. I got an email from the bank. I called him. "Ryan, the loan payment." "Oh, hey, G," he said, sounding breezy. "Yeah, crazy thing. The big kiln. It exploded. Total mess. Can you cover me this month? I'll get you back." My stomach went cold. "A kiln exploded?" "Yeah, it's a disaster. But don't worry, I'm handling it." Like a fool, I made the payment. The next month, another email. "Missed payment," I called him. This time, the excuse was different. "The clay shipment from Taos, it got lost," he said. "The whole truck just gone. I'm wiped out until I can sort the insurance." I made the second payment. I was angry. I was screaming at him in my head. The 3rd month, I didn't get an email. I got a certified letter. "Your loan is in serious default. Failure to pay will result in actions, including wage garnishment and seizure of assets." My loan, my wages, my assets. I called him. Over and over. He didn't answer. I texted him. No reply. I checked his Instagram. It was full of new photos. Him and some friends in Mexico, on a beach, laughing. There was no exploded kiln. There was no lost shipment of clay. There was just a beach. And my brother, living his life while I was back home, staring at a default notice for $60,000 I kept believing. Because family, right? That's what I told myself. I told myself he'd come back. He'd explain. He'd fix it. I should have pulled out then. I should have called the bank, told them to take the Jeep. But I didn't. I was too ashamed. I was too scared. Scared of what it would do to the family. Scared of my mother's voice. So I did nothing. I just let the fire burn, and I stood in the middle of it. While Ryan was chasing inspiration in Mexico, I was at home, covering everything. The $60,000 loan was a monster sleeping in the corner. But the day-to-day was 1,000 tiny cuts. My life was a spreadsheet of other people's needs. My parents' rent. $400, my parents' utilities. $20, my parents' phone and cable, with the good sports package for my dad. $220, Ryan's loan payment, which I had now taken over. $550, then there were the extras. The pop-up bills. I was at the grocery store on a Tuesday. My cart was full. Ella's favorite yogurt, chicken, vegetables, bread. Just the basics. My phone rang. It was my dad. "Hey, G," he said. He always sounded tired when he was about to ask for something. Listen, your mother's not well. Her prescription, it's ready, but my card it's not working. You know how it is. I knew exactly how it was. His card wasn't working because it was empty. I'm at the store, Dad. Can it wait? The pharmacy closes at 6, Gee, she really needs this. I sighed. I left my full card in the aisle. I drove to the pharmacy. Picking up for Sarah West, I told the tech. She came back with a small bag. That will be $180. 180? I whispered. What is this? It's her. Nerve medication, ma'am? I paid. I handed the bag to my dad at their apartment. He didn't meet my eyes. You're a rock, G. A total rock. I went home. I ate cereal for dinner. The next day, I saw my mom's Facebook page. A new post. A photo of her and my dad at a local casino, smiling, holding up a small ticket. Feeling lucky. Date night! Date night. The 180 nerve medication was their casino buy-in. I felt sick. I wanted to scream. I wanted to call her, but I didn't. What would I say? How dare you enjoy yourself? How dare you lie to me? And I knew her answer. It would be the one she always used. The guilt. Oh, Gianna, it was just a little fun. We never get to have any fun. You're so lucky with your good job. We're just getting by. After all we did for you, can't we have one night? After all we did for you. That was the sentence that ruled my life. What did they do? I tried to make a list. I sat at my laptop, the code I was writing blurred on the screen. They gave birth to me. They let me live in their house until I was 18. They supported me when I had Ella. That was it. That was the list. My support when I had Ella was a phone call where my mother said, Well, Jonna, you've really made a mess of your life, haven't you? What are we going to tell the neighbors? My support was my dad saying, Are you sure he won't marry you? This is going to cost a lot. I was the one who worked 2 jobs while pregnant. I was the one who finished my college degree online with a baby on my lap. I was the one who got the good job, the $118,000, the stability. I had done it all myself. And yet, the guilt worked. Every time I thought about cutting them off, every time I drafted an email to the landlord to take my name off the lease, I would get a text from Mom. Just thinking about you. Love you, my rock. From Dad. Your brother is worried about you. He says you seem stressed. Call him Ryan. He was worried about me, Ryan, who was now back from Mexico, telling stories about how his kiln exploded and he lost his clay shipment. He was playing the victim. He was the struggling artist, and I was the cold sister. I tried to scale back. I tried to say no. Mom, I've looked at my budget, I said on the phone one day. I can't keep paying for the cable. You can get basic channels for free. Silence. Then a small choked sob. Oh, Jonna. That's fine, it's fine. It's just, your father. He loves his sports. It's the only joy he has. But if you can't, we'll manage. We'll just sit in the quiet, I guess. She was a master. She was a professional. I kept paying the cable bill. I was their rock. But a rock is just a thing to stand on. It's a thing to use. It doesn't have feelings. It doesn't have needs. It's just there, heavy, immovable, and slowly, every day, being worn down by the water. I was so worn down, Ella could see it. She was 13 now, smart, too smart. Mom, why is Grandma West always sad on the phone? She asked me. She's not sad, honey. She's complicated. And why do we always have to pay for Uncle Ryan? He's a grown-up. It's family, Ella. That's what you do. You help family? She looked at me, her eyes so clear and honest. Does he help us? I had no answer. The weight of we have to go, Mom. I have to give it to him. I couldn't say no to her. I couldn't break her heart. I should have. It would have been better than what came next. The house was packed. It was exactly what I'd expected. Loud thumping music. Spilled beer on the porch. The fake, high-pitched laughter of people trying to impress each other. Ryan was in the backyard, by a fire pit, holding a bottle of beer. He was holding court, bragging about his new consulting gig, bragging about some new vibe he'd discovered. He didn't see us arrive. My parents were there. They were sitting on a sofa, inside, watching everything. They looked proud of him. Ella clutched my hand. I'm nervous, she whispered. It's okay, sweetie. Let's just go say hi. We walked through the crowd. "Hey, Ryan," I said. He turned. "Oh, hey, G. Hey, Ella. Didn't think you'd make it." He didn't sound happy about it. "Happy birthday, Uncle Ryan," Ella said. Her voice was so small, she held out the box. He looked at it. He looked at her. He took it. He turned it over in his hand. He was drunk. His eyes were glassy. He scoffed. "A loud, wet, ugly sound. What is this?" He said. "Did you make this?" "It looks like trash." Ella's face. It just crumpled. Her smile vanished. Her eyes went wide. I carved it," she whispered. Ryan laughed. A loud braying laugh. He was playing to the crowd. To the girl with blue hair standing next to him. "It's cheap, worthless trash," he said. And he threw it. He didn't drop it. He didn't toss it aside. He threw it. Sidearm. Hard. It was aimed at the ground, near her feet. But he was drunk. His aim was bad. The little wooden box hit my daughter. It hit her on the shoulder, hard, before falling to the concrete patio. It cracked. The lid split in two. The tiny brass hinges broke. Ella just froze. Her hand went to her shoulder. Her eyes filled with tears, but she refused to let them fall. She just stood there, stunned. The entire backyard went silent. For one long second. You could hear the music from inside. You could hear the fire crackle. I saw it all. I saw the blue-haired girl's eyes go wide. I saw my brother's smug, arrogant face. And I saw my parents, through the sliding glass door. They were watching. They had seen the whole thing, my mother. She smirked. She smirked, my father. He just looked away. He picked up his beer and took a long, slow drink. Then, the girl next to Ryan giggled. A high, nervous titter, and that broke the spell. Ryan started laughing again. "Oh man," he said. That was rough, kid." Laughter, actual laughter. From the people around him. My mother's voice, from the doorway. "Oh, she'll toughen up. It's just a joke, Ryan." A joke. It wasn't a joke. It was the end. No apology. No shame. No one bent down to help my child. No one asked if she was okay. Just arrogance. Just dismissal. It was like a switch flipped in my brain. The fog of guilt, the weight of a decade. It just evaporated. It was gone. I was not sad. I was not hurt. I was cold. I was crystal clear. I bent down. My knees cracked, but I didn't feel it. I picked up the two broken pieces of the lid. The gold paint. The splintered wood. I looked at them in my hand. I stood up. I didn't look at Ryan. I didn't look at my parents. I took Ella's hand. It was cold. I turned and I looked right into my brother's smug, drunk, stupid eyes. I let him see my face, and I whispered one word. Okay. It wasn't a word of agreement. It wasn't forgiveness. It wasn't surrender. It was a promise. I turned and I walked away. I led my daughter through the crowd of laughing people, out the front door and into the dark. In the car, under the streetlight, Ella finally broke. She didn't sob. She just cried. Silent, heavy tears, her whole body shaking. I just sat there, my hands on the wheel, the engine off. I looked at the broken pieces of the box in my lap. The spell was broken. The rock was no longer a rock. The rock was about to move, and it was going to crush everything in its path. I drove us home in complete silence. The only sound in the car was Ella's breathing. She was trying so hard not to make a sound, but I could hear the tiny, hitched gasps she took between her silent tears. I didn't try to comfort her. I didn't say, "It's okay." I didn't say, "Your uncle is a jerk," because it wasn't okay. And she didn't need me to tell her the truth. She had just had the truth thrown at her shoulder. We got inside our apartment. I locked the deadbolt. The click of the lock felt different. It felt final. "Go wash your face, honey. Get in your pajamas. I'll be in to say goodnight, Mom?" She whispered, her eyes red and puffy. "Are you mad at me?" That question broke a tiny piece of my cold heart. "No, Ella. I'm not mad at you. I am so proud of you. And I am so sorry. I should never have taken you there." "The box broke," she said, as if I didn't know. "I know. We will build another one," I said. "Go on." "I have to do some work." She nodded and went to her room. I did not turn on the TV. I did not pour a glass of wine. I walked to my small desk in the living room. I opened my laptop. The screen lit up my face in the dark room. My daughter was in her bedroom crying because my family laughed at her pain. My brother was drunk in a house full of strangers. A house he could only afford because I was paying off his bad decisions. My parents were sitting on a sofa, smirking in an apartment that I paid for. The spell was broken. The guilt was gone. All that was left was math. I was a software engineer. I liked solving problems. I liked clean code. My life had been a messy, broken program for 10 years. It was time to debug. I logged into my bank account. My fingers were steady on the keyboard. I went to the bill pay section. I saw the list of my monthly payments. My life, summarized in a list of debits. Payee, Parkside Lofts, rent, mom and dad, amount 1,400 next payment, first of the month. I clicked the payment. I clicked manage. I clicked disable autopay. A box popped up. Are you sure? I clicked confirm. The line item turned gray. Payee, city utilities, mom and dad. Amount, $250, average. Next payment, 5th of the month, click, manage, disable, confirm, payee, Vericom, phone, chew, cable, mom and dad, amount $220 next payment. 8th of the month, click, manage, disable, confirm. It took less than 90 seconds. 90 seconds to undo 9 years of support. 9 years of being their rock. I closed the bank tab. That was the easy part. That was just cutting them off. Now for the hard part. The part that would bring the whole house down. I opened my email. I found the folder I had created 3 years ago. Ryan Loan. It was full of default notices, late payment warnings, and all my own payment receipts from the last 2 years. I found the original loan documents. I found the name Mr. Henderson, the loan officer. I composed a new email. My hands did not shake. To ehenderson@nationalbank.com from gianna.westemail.com. Subject: Loan, Juror 8840129. West. Notice of default. Dear Mr. Henderson, this email is to formally notify you that I, Gianna West, the primary borrower on loan, Juror 8840129, will no longer be making payments on this account. The loan is in serious default, and I am surrendering my attempts to cure it. As per the terms we signed, I request that the bank proceed with default and repossession of the secured collateral. The collateral is a 2020 Jeep Cherokee, and I copied and pasted the number from the document. The vehicle is usually located at, I typed in the address of his pottery studio, or I typed in the address of his rented party house. Please proceed immediately. Do not contact me for any reason other than to confirm the action is complete. Thank you, Gianna West. I reread the email. It was cold. It was clean. It was perfect. I hit send. The sound of the whoosh from my laptop speakers was the loudest sound in the apartment. It was done. I closed the laptop. I went into Ella's room. She was asleep, her face still damp. I pulled the blanket up to her chin. It stopped. Then the texts came. A flood of green bubbles, one after another, making my phone vibrate and buzz across the desk. Where is my Jeep? Where is my King Jeep? Gianna, a tow truck just took my Jeep. What did you do? Answer me. They said the bank took it. They said you told them to pick up the phone. You're a King bitch, you're dead. I picked up the phone. I went to his contact. I hit block. The text stopped. The calls stopped. The Jeep was his pride. It was his entire image. Without it, he was just a guy. But I knew how the loan worked. The Jeep was just the first domino Mr. Henderson had told me. Proceeding with default means we will seize all linked accounts to cover the immediate loss. His accounts. The business account I had put his name on. I knew sitting at my desk that as he was watching his Jeep get towed away, his bank account was being frozen. He wouldn't be able to pay his staff, if he had any. He wouldn't be able to pay his rent. I was right. A week later, a friend of a friend who lived in Flagstaff sent me a photo. It was a picture of the glass front door of Ryan's artisan pottery studio. Taped to the glass was a large, official orange-colored piece of paper. I zoomed in. Pay or quit. His landlord was evicting him. The pottery dream was over. I looked at the photo. I looked at the broken, gold-painted piece of wood Ella had left on her dresser. I deleted the photo from my phone. I didn't need it. The quiet retaliation was over. The loud fallout was just beginning. After I blocked Ryan, my phone was silent for exactly 1 day. I think it took that long for the news to travel. Then, the second wave hit. My phone rang. Mom, I was not ready to block her. Not yet. I had to hear it. This was part of the process. I let it go to voicemail. A minute later, the little red dot appeared. I pressed the button. I put the phone to my ear. Gianna? Honey, I don't know what's happening. Her voice was high, confused, and trembling. The power just went out. And the landlord's office called? They said the rent check didn't come. Your autopay is something wrong with your bank, honey? Please call me. We're sitting in the dark. I saved the voicemail. 2 hours later, another call. Another voicemail. Gianna, this isn't funny. Her voice was sharper now. The tears were gone. I called the power company. They said the account was canceled. They said you canceled it. What is wrong with you? Your father is cold. You need to fix this. Right now. You call them and you fix this. I am just shocked. I saved that one too. The third voicemail came late that night. It was from my dad. His voice was heavy, disappointed. That was always his weapon. Gee, he sighed. Your mother is a mess. I don't know what you're thinking. Ryan called us. He's lost G. He lost his car. He lost his shop. He said you did it. You ruined him. And now, our rent. G, we're your parents. You're tearing this family apart. I listened to that message 3 times. You're tearing this family apart. I sat on my sofa, in my quiet, paid-for apartment. I looked at Ella, asleep in her bed. No, I whispered to the phone. I'm not tearing it apart. A family holds itself together. With love, with respect, with support. I wasn't tearing anything. I was just letting go. I was no longer the glue. I was no longer the bank. I was no longer financing a group of people who called themselves a family. It turned out, without my $118,000 a year, we weren't a family at all. We were just a business arrangement. And I was closing the business. I was just letting gravity do its job. The fourth voicemail came the next morning. It was my mother again. The confusion was gone. The disappointment was gone. All that was left was a pure, hot rage I had never heard from her. You listen to me, Gianna, she hissed into the phone. Her voice was low, and it scared me more than any screaming. You think you're better than us. You think you can just throw us out? Like trash? We gave you everything. We raised you. We, after all we did for you? You are a cold, heartless, ungrateful bitch. You are nothing without us. You are trying to kill your father. I will never forgive you for this. You have no idea what you've done. You'll regret this. You'll die alone. The voicemail ended. I stood there. My hand was shaking. Not from fear, from relief. There it was. The truth. The real person under the sad, gentle mask. The mask I had been paying to keep in place. I blocked her number. I blocked my father's number. My phone went quiet. The real quiet. For a week, there was nothing. Just me and Ella. We went to the park. I helped her with her homework. I finished a big project at work. I felt light. Then, the public fallout. I got a notification on Facebook. A cousin I hadn't seen in 10 years had tagged me in a post. It was Ryan's. He had posted a long message. It was full of words like journey, struggle, and betrayal. He had a blurry photo of his empty pottery studio. The pay or quit notice blurred out. The post started. Well, friends, my journey with artisan pottery is over. Not because the business failed. It was succeeding. It was thriving. But I made one mistake. The one mistake I'll never make again. I kept reading. I trusted family. I went into business with my own sister. I poured my heart, my soul, and my money into this. And in the end, she just took it. She used a legal loophole, pulled the rug out from under me, and seized everything. My car, my business, my savings, all of it, gone. He was a good writer. I'll give him that. It was a good story. I'm broken, but I'll rebuild. I just want this to be a lesson to all of you. Never trust family in business. Never. Some people will just cut your throat to get ahead. Even your own blood. He finished it with, I'm not sure where I'll land, but I'll be fine. Betrayed. Extra struggle. Family business. Never again. I looked at the comments. They were full of sympathy. Oh, Ryan, this is awful. I'm so sorry. That is horrible. What a terrible sister. Sending you love and light. You'll bounce back. She sounds like a monster. My cousin who tagged me had written, Gianna West. This is you, right? What is wrong with you? I read the post. I read the comments. I felt nothing. It was just noise. It was just Ryan doing what he always did. Playing the victim, I didn't comment. I didn't defend myself. I just watched. And then something interesting happened. The comments started to turn. It started with one, a name I didn't recognize. Wait, Ryan West. Wasn't that your Jeep Cherokee that got repoed in the middle of Main Street at noon on Tuesday? I was at the cafe. It was pretty dramatic. The repo guy said the loan hadn't been paid in almost a year. A new comment from someone else. A year? Ryan West, your post says she took it. Did she take it, or did you just not pay your loan for 12 months? A third comment. I live in the same building as his studio. That place has been dark for months. He had a kiln explosion party in December. I think he was just not working. A fourth. Never trust family and business? How about pay your of king bills? My brother-in-law did some electrical work for that studio in October. Still hasn't been paid. He trusted you, Ryan. The comments turned. It was like watching a pack of wolves. His fans were confused. The locals were angry. So you took your sister's money and didn't pay her back? And now you're blaming her? This is not a good look, man. Wow, wow. Deleting this fraud. Ryan's post was gone 2 hours later. He deleted his whole account. His reputation, which he had built on Instagram and lies, was gone. It had crumbled under the weight of one simple, quiet fact. The truth. I stayed quiet. I said nothing. I had done nothing. I had simply stopped. I stopped paying for their lies. I stopped holding up their false world. And without me, it all just fell. 3 weeks passed. 3 weeks of true, beautiful, golden silence. I had never felt so light. My paychecks were my own. I took Ella shopping. We bought new shoes. We bought new clothes. I opened a college savings account for her, a real one, and I put $5,000 in it. The calls had stopped. The texts had stopped. The social media, I didn't answer. I didn't breathe. I leaned forward very slowly and looked through the peephole. It was him, but it wasn't my brother. It was a monster. His face was bright red, purple in the hallway light. His hair was wet and stuck to his forehead. His eyes were insane. They were wide, bloodshot, and empty. He was drunk. He was something else. He was gone. You ruined my life, he screamed, his voice cracking. You took everything from me. Everything. He kicked the door. The frame rattled. I jumped back. I took a deep, steadying breath. I pulled out my phone. I didn't panic. I didn't cry. I was a software engineer. I followed a procedure. Step 1. Evidence. My apartment had a smart doorbell system, even though I was on the 3rd floor. I had installed it myself. I opened the app. I hit record. The little red light started blinking. I knew he couldn't see it, but I could. It was recording audio and video. Step 2. Removal. I swiped out of the app. I opened the phone dialer. I dialed 911. I put the phone to my ear. I spoke in a whisper, but my voice was perfectly, terribly calm. I need police at 345 North Oak, apartment 312. My brother is trying to break down my door. He is threatening me. He is drunk and violent. Ma'am, are you safe? The dispatcher asked. I am locked in. My child is in the home. She is hidden. He is pounding on the new door. He's screaming, please. What is his name, ma'am? His name is Ryan West. I have officers 2 blocks away. They are on their way, ma'am. Stay on the line. You hear me, Gianna? Ryan screamed. He pounded again, so hard I thought the wood would split. You think you're so safe in there? You think you've won? You're nothing. You're dead. You hear me? I'm going to kill you! I held the phone up to the door. Did you hear that? I whispered. Yes, ma'am, the dispatcher said, her voice grim. They are at the building now. They're coming up the stairs. I heard it, too. New sounds. Heavy footsteps on the stairs. Ryan stopped pounding. He must have heard it too. I looked through the peephole again. I saw him turn. His red face turned to confusion. I saw 2 police officers round the corner, hands on their belts. Mr. West? One of them said, Ryan. He tried to play the victim. He put his hands up. Officers, thank God. My sister, she's in there. She stole my life. She's crazy, he was slurring. He could barely stand. Sir, you need to step away from the door. You're drunk. I'm not drunk, Ryan yelled, which was the drunkest thing he could say. She's the one! She's a bitch! A lying, cold bitch! Sir, calm down, the first officer said, putting his hand on Ryan's arm. Ryan's face changed. The confusion. It turned to pure rage. Don't you king touch me! He screamed, and he swung. He swung his fist at the police officer. It was a terrible decision. The officer ducked. The second officer didn't. He moved faster than I thought a person could move. In 1 second, Ryan was on his stomach. In 2 seconds, his hands were cuffed behind his back. Stop. You're hurting me. Gianna, tell them. Tell them. He was screaming, his face mashed into the hallway carpet. The officers cuffed him. They charged him with disorderly conduct. They charged him with resisting arrest. They charged him with assaulting an officer. They dragged him, screaming, down the hallway. One of the officers stayed. He knocked, gently. Ma'am? Ms. West? It's Officer Davies. Are you all right? I opened the door. My hands were shaking now. The adrenaline was fading. Yes, we're fine. Your brother. He's been saying a lot of things. About you. I held up my phone. I have video and audio of the whole thing, including the death threats. The officer looked at my phone. He looked at me. He nodded. Good, he said. You'll want to come down tomorrow morning. You can file a restraining order. With this video, it will be permanent. I will, I said. He nodded. Have a good night, ma'am. He left. I closed the door. I locked the deadbolt. I went to the closet. Ella, it's okay. You can come out. They're gone. She came out, her face stained with tears. She wrapped her arms around my waist. Is Uncle Ryan gone? Yes, I said, holding her. He's gone. I took her back to her bed. I sat with her until she fell asleep. I went to the courthouse the next morning. I showed the judge the video. The judge didn't even look at me. She just watched the video. She watched my red-faced, screaming brother threaten to kill me. She granted the restraining order. 200 yards. No contact. For 5 years. I walked out of the courthouse. The sun was shining. I went home. I locked my door, and for the first time in my entire life, my house felt completely, totally, and truly safe. The silence was no longer the silence of me being a victim. It wasn't the silence of me holding my breath, waiting for the next disaster. It was just peace. A month passed. It was the best month of my life. The restraining order was a magic shield. The silence was real. I got a new email address. I got a new phone number. I gave it to Mr. Henderson at the bank, to my boss, and to Ella's school. That was it. The old world. It was just gone. Ella and I were living. We were in our own little bubble, and it was wonderful. She was working on her new jewelry box. She was taking her time. She was sanding it perfectly. She was getting ready for the county fair. I was healing, I thought. I really thought it was all over. I thought they had no moves left. Ryan was facing criminal charges. My parents, I didn't know where they were. I didn't care. I had forgotten how desperate they could be. I had forgotten that for them, no was just a challenge. I went to work. My job is in a normal, boring suburban office park. 3 buildings, a lot of glass, a nice lawn, and a security gate for the employee parking lot. It was a Tuesday. I was walking back from the cafeteria holding a coffee, talking to a coworker about a new piece of code, and I saw them. I stopped. My coffee? I stopped holding it. It slipped from my hand and spilled all over the sidewalk. My coworker said, Jonna, are you okay? I couldn't speak. They were standing at the gate. At the entrance to the employee parking lot, my mother and my father, they were holding a sign, a huge piece of cardboard. It was a refrigerator box, cut open. The letters were painted in what looked like Red House paint. Big, sloppy, dripping letters. Ungrateful daughter, heartless. My mother was holding one side. My father was holding the other. They were just standing there. For all my coworkers to see, my mother saw me. Her face? It was not the face of a loving, sad woman. It was twisted. It was full of hate. There she is! She shrieked, pointing at me. My coworkers, everyone, stopped. People walking from their cars. They stopped. Gianna West! How can you sleep at night? My father, his voice booming across the lawn. You left us homeless! We are your parents. You are heartless! I was frozen. This was impossible. This was a nightmare. This was not real. People were looking at me. My boss, whose window faced the gate, was looking at me. This was the ultimate humiliation. This was their final move. They couldn't get my money. They couldn't get my guilt. So they were going to get my reputation. They were going to ruin my job. My $118,000 a year job. My mother started to cry. Big fake movie tears. She let her brother go to jail. She let us get evicted. We're living in our car. After all we did for her. This was it. This was the moment, and I felt nothing. No, that's wrong. I felt pity, a deep, cold, empty pity. They looked ridiculous. They looked small. Two old, angry people holding a stupid sign, screaming in a parking lot. This wasn't my family. This was a protest, and this wasn't their living room. This wasn't a family argument. This was my workplace, and my workplace has rules. I saw the security guards. Two of them. They were walking fast. Ma'am, sir, you can't be here, one of them said. That's her. My mother shrieked, pointing at me again. She works here. She's my daughter. Tell her. And for the first time, I told the story. I told her. Not everything, but enough. My brother is in jail for threatening me. My parents, I stopped paying their bills. They were evicted. And now they are here. Sarah, the HR manager, did not look shocked. She just nodded. Okay, she said. She typed. This is what we are going to do. Our legal team is issuing a formal cease and desist and a no trespass warning. If they set foot on this property again, they will be arrested. Immediately. She looked at me. Are you safe, Gianna? At your home? Yes, I said. I have a restraining order against my brother. And they don't know where I live anymore. Good, she said. I went back to my desk. My coworkers. They tried not to look at me, but they were. I just opened my laptop. I opened my code, and I started to work. 2 weeks later, I got a phone call from a number I didn't know. I let it go to voicemail. It was the landlord from my parents' old building. Hey, Ms. West, Gianna, it's Mark from Parkside Lofts. Listen, I know you're not on the lease anymore, but I just... The eviction was carried out. The marshals removed your parents. This morning, he sighed. Listen, I'm not supposed to do this, but they called you cruel. They said, you were a monster. I wanted to call and say, the apartment. It was a mess. They knew this was coming for a month. They didn't pack. They just lived in the filth. The marshals, it was bad, Gianna. I'm sorry. For whatever it's worth, you paid their way for 8 years. You did. You did more than enough. It's done. He hung up. I listened to the voicemail. Cruel. They called me cruel. They stood on a sidewalk with a sign that said I was heartless. They had a month to find a new place. They had a decade to save money. They had their whole lives to be better people. They called it cruelty. I called it a consequence. Their choices led them to that sidewalk. Their choices led them to the marshals at their door. My choices led me back to my desk. I had code to write. I had a daughter to raise. I had a life to live, and for the first time, it was all mine. A year later, a letter arrived from Ryan. It was 3 pages of apologies, excuses, and guilt. He said Dad's health was failing. He said they missed Ella. I read it once. Then I folded it, dropped it into the trash, and whispered to myself, I don't miss the people who laughed at my child's pain. Ella's small scar on her shoulder healed. So did we. She built a new jewelry box. This one had cleaner lines and sharper corners. It won first place at the county fair. On the lid, she carved one single word, worth, And that's what we became. Worth our peace. Worth our boundaries. Worth walking away. They called me heartless. They called me cruel. But peace has a price, and I had finally paid it. Because sometimes revenge isn't loud. It's silent. And it's